Hi, John here. Today we're going to talk about the part of alignment that you rise to when you begin to approach your ascension and your kind of 5D mind in place. So we're talking about today observation. What is observation? And how do I get there? And have I ever been there? Well, the answer is it's easy to get to. And oh my God, yes, you've been there. Okay? So, what is observation? Observation is being able to rise to a place in your mind's eye, and look at everything without any emotion or investment of feelings. In other words, there's nothing right or wrong, it just is. And as you observe it, you decide, is this for me or is it not? And that can happen with any subject whatsoever. Have you ever done it before? Oh, yeah. You know when you did it? You did it when your friend asks you, and maybe not your friend, maybe not your best friend, because we always kind of go into a prejudice when we're with our friends, but maybe somebody that you admired asked you your opinion on something, on a problem that they may be having with their lives or something really human, not just, should we carry the two in the balance sheet? We're not talking about that. We're talking about kind of the human element here. And somebody asked you, or somebody said something, and they asked you your opinion on it, and you came at it from a completely clinical observation. And you could see that what they kept doing was a bit self-destructive, and that they would just even find balance, they could find peace. And somehow you saw through all their problems, and you went, oh man, this is actually really easy. I mean, if you do this or you do that, that might offer an option. We get in trouble when we say, if I were you, I would do this, and if I were you, I'd do that, because you know what? They're not you. If you've got that idea and they've never had it, and it's a bit complicated, they might not be able to pull it off, and you put them in ground that they're not comfortable on or safe. So you really do have to know who you're dealing with, and in the counseling that people like myself do, I mean, we really try to get a good background to try and get a sense of potential and where they are and what is it. And that's what we're doing with our own lives when we rise to the place of observation. When you can rise to a place and look at yourself with no judgment. That sounds easy? It's not. Because we carry lots of judgment about ourselves. We're the worst critics. And I can tell you, just as we go through life, it's bad enough when somebody else comes down on you or gets hot on you, and then you kind of fight back. And that's pretty natural and pretty normal. But when you turn on yourself, when you go inside at these moments when you're not around anybody and you curse yourself and call yourself all these names, I mean, you really do damage. You really set yourself back because you're all you have. And to be honest, you're all in the same effort to make things better. It's just that sometimes the invested collective 3D us can't get past our ego and what we think we should be looking like and what everybody else does, and we got to get in there. And I'm telling you right now, this will make you crazy. Crazy. So, if in our own lives we can ask for the peace and the understanding of observation and observe our lives, you will be able to correct all those things without any help from anybody else, because you will see from a common sense place of what you're doing, and you'll see your ego come in and bounce you around, and you'll see the intention you had no matter how much you tried to fool them, because you're going to be inside. And when you can agree to that and say, yes, that truly was me, but I can see how that happened, there's the answer. That's why that got out of hand. That's why that got crazy. That's why I quit my job. That's why I left that person. Because of something that we had in our head that was all full of investment of our passion and our ego. So to be in observation, to be in real observation, is a blessing. Because you get to drop all of that emotion, and you get to walk away and refuse to be involved in the things that bring you down or make you mad. And you have that right, and you have that power. And when you feel it and you do it, and even if it's on yourself, you go, yeah, but I can correct that. You see, everything can be fixed. Every single thing can be fixed. I don't care if you're sitting at home and depressed or you're in jail and got 5 more years. It doesn't matter. Everything can change from inside, and everything will look different when you do. But you got to be honest, and you got to live in the now, and you got to deal with what is. So if you'll treat yourself the same way you treated your friend who you admired and said, you know what, this is the truth, man. I mean, this is really you. So if you'll stop doing this, you might feel better about yourself and the situation. And the same holds true for you. If you will do yourself that honor, if you will do yourself that favor, if you will come into every situation that you have and all of the thoughts and the decisions that you have to make and rise to this place of observation where you can see yourself and see yourself in action, and you'll laugh and you'll cry and you'll see the honest truth. And when you see the honest truth about yourself, you're going to look over and think, you know what, I wrongfully talked to that woman like that or that man. I wrongfully so told my child like that. And you know what that takes? An apology. That's it. All this time of sitting around and going crazy and thinking, oh my God, what did they think of me? When they're not even have one thought of what happened, because they've built this up in your mind because you're not in observation. You're invested. Your emotions are invested. Your ego is in there saying, they can't do that to us, or, oh my God, look at them. This is all nonsense. Because we all have our thing, and this is how we learn, by contrast. But contrast will be easier to handle. Your observations of life will change. You will have no judgment. In observation, there is no judgment. There is no right. There is no wrong. There is only consequences for actions. And if you take that back to the aligned spirit and the good of all, this thing should work pretty good, wouldn't you think? Yes. The aligned self, understanding observation, with the ability to detach, will clear your sacred space, and you will be able to think clearly without all those voices yapping in your ear about who did what and how you were wronged and all that nonsense. And you can come to a place where you can say, all right, I see it. I see my part in it. Wow, I really see my part in it. You know what? I need to redo here. Or make a huge change. Whatever. But once you master this and you can stay in a place of observation, you will find that everything will change. And everything becomes very simple. What looked like a 1,000,000-piece puzzle now becomes 2 or 3. There's only 2 or 3 rules that you have to keep for the good of all. Staying aligned. Me first. Not on a selfish basis, but on a way to be able to make your life easier and better. Now that's as selfish as it gets, but okay, that's great, because you know what? When your life is good, everybody around you is good. And they'll value your advice. You will become wise. You will be the place that people come to ask questions and get an honest, solid answer. Why? Because they trust you. And if you will do this for yourself, you will learn to trust yourself. And I can tell you that many of us don't really trust ourselves. So you see, this is an entire shift, but it comes naturally as part of your alignment. I hope this makes some sense to you. A place of observation is a free place. It's a place to be able to think and breathe and create. And so it is.